Hey, Tony Gasser here. Now, doing a talk today on standards versus preferences. Now, you have heard me talk about this, and I brought this up a long time ago, and I remember it started to go viral. Um, it's funny how television gives people relationship shows. Where they gave a young lady a relationship show, and she put the concept on her show, but she changed it from standards versus preferences to standards versus priorities. I think not to get sued or just to try to, tweak it. Now, I don't even know if the lady was in a relationship, but she followed me on Twitter, and a celebrity, of course. And this was years ago. But I come up with this just because, y'all forgive me turning off my computer. I come up with this just because what I was noticing in relationships is a lot of times we're just confusing what matters and what doesn't. And we look at a finished product. Like a lot of people look at a finished product and think, oh, well, that's not fair to say because you look like this, or your husband look like this, or your wife look like this, and don't realize that that successful, happy couple did not look like that when they got together, that they built together. And that love, when it's pure and when it's whole, it makes you more healthy. You sleep better, you eat better, your skin start to glow, you get in better shape. Or even if you're not in the best shape, you still happy. So people start to look better over time, and a lot of times we misunderstand that, and we look at this product and don't realize what the process was and what a person had to go through. So when you make your list, it's for men and women. When you make your list, what you have to be careful of are numbers. You got to be careful of numbers. So 6 foot tall, 5'6", six pack of abs, 6 inches below the belt, 150 pounds, 200 pounds, $100,000 in income, $75,000 in income, 35 years old, 45 years old. Any numbers you have on there, you want to evaluate those numbers. And then you want to ask yourself, okay, how much does this number play into the relationship? What bearing does this have on the relationship? How important is this? And is it important at all? Is this based on my morals and my values, which would be your standards, or is this based on your preferences, meaning what you would prefer your partner to have? And that's what you have to understand, because listen, what you have is not going to stay the same. That's what you have to realize. So if somebody is down here on the look scale in your mind, with your love, time, attention, they're going to go up here. If somebody's on the look scale up here, with your love, time, and attention, they may go down here. Let me explain that to you. See, somebody who is not really focused on aesthetics, they become more motivated to work on themselves when they fall in love. Now, of course, we should be working on those things, but they may not be an expert at it. They may not have perfected fashion. They may not have perfected the aesthetics. That's what an esthetician is for. But they may not fully understand that, and that's where you come in. Now, a lot of times people who have perfected it, they're perfecting it because they are single and because they have the time to focus on it and they want to attract someone. But then when they attract someone, they let their hair down, meaning they let their guard down. They get complacent. They come to a place and it's like, well, I got the person now. Oh, now I'm pregnant. or now she's pregnant. I don't have to keep doing all this. I got him. I'm in love now. Let me just do me. And that's why you hear the term, she let herself go. He let himself go. Don't let yourself go, because that's what happens most often. And then you hear the term, she glowed up. He glowed up, because that's what oftentimes happens. So what you really want is, you don't want somebody. Now, if it happens, it happens. But what I'm saying is, you're not going out searching and desperate for somebody who is a 10. Because a 10 can only go down. A 10, it's out of 1 to 10. A 10 only gonna go down now, unless a 10 can stay at a 10, but that's extremely hard. Like, have you ever had abs? Have you ever had abs? If you have not had abs, when you look at abs, think about abs, because this is a prime example, because it take work, or it's genetics. If it's genetics, you have abs when you're young, and you go all the way up with these abs until your metabolism slows down. Abs disappear. I had abs probably to the age of maybe 30, something like that. Maybe could have been 31, 32. Never did a sit-up for them. Never did anything special. It was just my genetics. I lost my abs. I probably got 2 at the top. Don't know if that's abs or just a little meat roll. But now I could work out, but the workout I do, it does not give me abs. I realized I would have to have a complete overhaul to get abs. So now, if my abs made me a 10, all I've done was go down. When I met my wife, she did not have abs, and she had a flat stomach, in the sense of when her shirt is on or whatever, flat, but when she sat down, she had meat on her stomach. You know, she had meat on her bones. Guess what? Probably around her mid-20s, she got into this weightlifting thing, and she got shredded. So she actually went up, and I went down. And so she actually got abs. Now again, it's hard to keep abs. So of course, had a second baby, lost the abs on the journey, working. And when I say abs, I'm really saying flat stomach. But that's a prime example. When you go on Instagram and you see people with abs, 9 out of 10 of them didn't have them coming up. They hit a point in their life to where they got motivated, and they got in the gym, and they went and got them. And then when you see the people who had abs, but they never hit that point of like super motivation, they've all lost them. That's the same thing happened with looks and preferences. So you got to understand that you have to be strategic about this. And here's what I tell people. When it comes to the look side of things, you don't want to throw up in your mouth. Now, if the person that you dealing with, they just not doing anything, and it kind of make you a little weak on your stomach, not in a good way, then that's not the person for you, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if it's turning your stomach, then that's not the person for you. They for somebody else. Somebody else love that look. Somebody else gonna love that look. But if that's not the look for you, that's not the look for you. But now, if you could look at them and you could say, I'm not fainting because of their looks, how good they look, but I'm also not repulsed. Like, I can look at this person. I could talk to this person. I could lie down with this person. Like, I could be around this person, and they take good enough care of themselves that I could be around them. And now we're not talking about birth defects and things of that nature. When you're talking about, any type of handicap or any type of special needs or birth defects, we're not talking about those things, because you understand that. We're talking about how a person takes care of themselves. So now, this is what you say, and I saw this happen. This guy, he's from another country. White guy, but from another country. So we don't see him like a white American. He's something else. And he meet this lady, and I believe, as the story goes, she was 280 pounds. Well, he happened to be someone who I think he had weight issues coming up, or either was really skinny or either was bigger, but he got into weightlifting and kind of became like a bodybuilder. So he learned the body and how it works and stuff like that. So when he got with this woman, they got married and he started taking her to the gym. Again, this is what love can do. Love motivates. See, a lot of times we meet people and we just see them for who they are instead of for who they can become. We don't look at that basis, that baseline of who is this person. Like, the person may be rough around the edges, but they got a good heart. Like they genuine. They're honest, they're real, they're authentic. Like the young man that you see on the show on Singles House, who, yeah, he hasn't cleaned up his language like some of the other guys, but he's authentically him. And when you listen to him talk, you can tell he loves hard, he's committed, he's a ride or die when he in. And is that baseline. Whereas another man or woman could have cleaned up their language and they know how to present themselves, but they may have personality issues or be set in their ways to where they actually become a headache. And the person who cursed like a sailor actually will make you happier than the person who got all these personality issues or all these, hard lines, all of these ways about them. And that's what you got to realize. So your preferences is exactly what it says. It's what you prefer. But a preference is not a non-negotiable. A preference is not a deal breaker. Now, your standards, those are deal breakers. And I'll make an example. My woman has to be a Christian. I don't have anything against Muslims. I don't have anything against Mormons. I don't have anything against, a Buddhist, a Hindu. But my woman has to be a Christian because I believe in Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is my rock. Jesus Christ is my salvation. That is a non-negotiable, because the love of Christ, the life of Christ, the belief in Christ, the walk with Christ saved my life, changed my life, and got me to where I am. I cannot compromise that. Now, that a woman doesn't curse, that is a preference. But a woman can stop cursing or not curse around the kids, and she's an adult. That is a preference. That a woman doesn't smoke, that is a standard, because when you smoke, you are killing yourself because your lungs are getting blacker and your esophagus is being broken down. So you are hindering your life expectancy, and I want to grow old with my wife. I also don't want to smell like smoke. And I also don't want to kiss someone who has the taste of tobacco or whatever it may be, marijuana or whatever, vape oil in their mouth, because I would imagine that tastes disgusting. It's bad enough you got garlic on your breath, let alone having worse than that. So that's a non-negotiable. And so this is what I mean, your morals and your values, and that is your standards, and those are your deal breakers. So yeah, I didn't want a woman who cursed, but when my wife found out I didn't curse, she stopped cursing, because she didn't really curse like that anyways. It's not like she had to curse or she didn't have a vocabulary to not use curse words. It just would be like, if something happened, like I only heard her curse one time, and that's when she was driving, and I think somebody almost hit her, and she yelled something, and as soon as she did, she hung up the phone. And I think that just was from being around everybody you around, they curse. It's very normal. Like I'll say 95% of women curse. 95% of men curse. So it's so normal that unless you got a reason to stop or you got some type of religious conviction or whatever, then you're going to do it. And so here's the thing. If it was like a diet, like, oh, I'm a vegan and she got to be a vegan, no, not the end of the world. Like, I could express why I am. I'm not a vegan, but I can express why or what have you. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. So what I need you to do is understand the difference between your preferences and your standards and take that height requirement off of there. Person can't control how tall they are. And if you pass up on real love, like a real heart, a good person, just to wait for somebody because of their height that they have no control over, that is a very stupid mistake. I understand you might be tall. I understand you might be shorter. If you pass up on somebody who has an amazing heart, an amazing person because of their height, you're making a huge mistake. You're making a huge mistake. If you pass up on somebody, and it's to men and women, because of their weight, you're making a huge mistake. You're making a huge mistake. Now, if you pass up on somebody because of their income, you're making a huge mistake. What I mean is, if they have character, emotionally intelligent, integrity, character, gonna love you, be a great person, you have to make that priority number one. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people don't believe this because you look at my wife now, but I had to get over my preferences. My wife did not have the body that I wanted. She was built different. She have Indian from India. Indian is built different than African. And then the African in her, meaning the black in her mom is built different than, not all Africans built the same. So somebody from this area is built tall and very lean. Somebody from this area may be shorter and stockier, thicker. And so me, I was more so into shorter and meat, shapely. My wife is the opposite. She was more so tall and she was lean, but yet still had meat on her bones and so it wasn't like something I was just falling out over. Her ex right before me was 6'4". So if a woman is with a man who's 6'4", she really don't want to go to 5'10". That's 6 inches shorter. So she made a concession, which people might say, well, oh, you taller than her, it don't matter. Yes, it do matter, because there's women that's 5'3" want a man 6 foot tall or better. And women always tell me, you're not short because of whatever. No, I did matchmaking, and there was no women in the matchmaking program who said they want a man under 6 foot tall. So yes, some of y'all might be okay with it because you've been exposed, you know more, you've learned more, but on average, that's not the case. And I literally have women tell me 6 figures, 6-pack, and 6 foot tall or better. Them 3 6s, and then they end up with a devil on their hand. And that was just the situation. So you got to understand, even my marriage, we had to get beyond societal preferences. My wife is a biomedical science major. She got a bubbly personality. She loved to dance. I'm very conservative. I don't dance. I don't have a bubbly personality. I got a country accent. So I'm more hood. She more educated. We complete opposites. So, but my heart is pure. Her heart is pure. We want to love God. We want to have a family. We want to raise our kids with respect and dignity. We got the same foundation. So we remove the preferences, and then now look how we turned out. Now people might look at us as an ideal couple, as a good-looking couple, but we still had to get past preferences and focus on standards. And yes, everything is not going to be perfect. You still going to have little things, personality traits and stuff like that. And me, as a man, I got to be more emotionally intelligent. I got to be more confident in myself and who I am. I got to be more loving of myself. I gotta be, I gotta grow and work on my communication. I'm still growing. So it's room to grow in this other areas to where, okay, this guy might be good in that area, but he don't really serve God. He don't really have a abundant mindset. So my wife could have chose a man who he liked to dance and he speaks like she speaks, proper, but he don't want to spend no money. He's a tightwad, or he don't know God. He messing with Ouija boards, and so it's like you got to decide where you're going to make a compromise, and the compromise need to be a healthy compromise, and you got to, especially if you're single now, you got to stop just, oh, I ain't doing that, I ain't changing that, I ain't changing that. Listen, you gotta have to open your eyes, you're gonna have to expand your mind, you're gonna have to open your horizon and be more open and let love do what it do. And then you're gonna realize, oh, that's why that tall woman is with that short man. Oh, that's why that fit person is with that person who is not as fit. Oh, that's why that person who is this race is with a person of that race. Oh, that's why that person is educated and got a degree and with somebody without a degree. Oh, because they let love happen. They let love do what it does instead of trying to control it and have a Build-A-Bear and then still be lacking. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.